me because they were like, what the like, if she's getting sober, what does that mean about me? And it
Mm.
made people very, very uncomfortable, and it was a very lonely existence for a while getting
You
sober.
you know it's weird. I know you know Lamont, right?
Yeah.
That motherfucker's never had an alcoholic drink. Not even as a trick. Never had one.
Hmm.
I tried to trick him
Hmm.
to have a glass of wine. Didn't never work. Never worked. He was always sober. Never
Hmm.
had a problem. You know, partying or getting along with people or whatever in that atmosphere. It's weird how if you get sober now it's an issue. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Hmm. Well, if everybody knew Lamont as the one that didn't drink, then it wasn't weird. But if Lamont was drinking every day with you guys and then all of a sudden stopped, something's up, right? Like,
A lot of people didn't even know he didn't drink. They just thought that he did, but he never drank.
yeah.
Yeah, he always have a cup of water.
Yeah. I actually remember that, but I think his brother drank enough for both of them.
So yeah, but yeah, it was weird. So
So
go
I
on.
went into my first meeting, and so in addition to drinking, I was very heavily into gambling as well. And
Oh,
because
that's
I'm
a
in
tough one.
yeah, so because I'm a psych person and I study human behavior, I was really, really good at poker. I actually won my
Oh,
way to the World Series of Poker.
get out of here.
Yeah, I won my entrance. But it became convoluted. Like, it was never enough, right? So I would win all this money and then I would go home broke because I would get so drunk or so like I just couldn't stop. So before going to AA, I thought I needed Gamblers Anonymous. So my first
Mm.
AA meeting I thought was a GA meeting, but it was
Oh,
actually an AA meeting. And I remember this big dude came up to me and he's like, "Take a seat." And I was like, "No, no, 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 I don't belong here." Because I knew I needed help, but I didn't want it to be alcohol help. Like, I didn't want to give up the alcohol. And he was like, "Oh no, you belong here. I could smell the whiskey coming off of you."
you drank right before going to
No,
the
I
meeting?
was I was detoxing from the day before. He
Oh
could
damn!
smell
So
it through my pores.
damn! You must have had some really good shit. So yeah,
I
so go
remember
on.
being so offended that I was going to curse him out after the meeting that I stood so I could curse him out. But because I stood, people saw that I was new. People came up to me. People came to talk to me. He came to me and was like, "You see this woman right here? She's going to be your temporary sponsor." And I'm like, "What?" Like, you don't understand. I'm a clinician. I know all about addiction. That's my specialty. I thought I
Hmm.
had it all done. I didn't know shit. I didn't know shit. I was a broken little girl when I walked in there, let me tell you. So
Yeah,
knowledge is power, but it also can be very damaging if you think you're too smart for your own good.
agreed.
Yeah. So it was awkward for me to ask for help. It was awkward for me to give up the facade, like, you know, I know it all, I'm so smart, or I'm not that messed up. I compared myself for a long time. But the one thing I knew from growing up in AA was like, you got to do service. You got to help other people so you could get out of your head. And I started taking on commitments and talking to other people. And I started joining meetings in the hood that were late at night so that when I had the craving to drink, I was with other sober people. I avoided walking Broadway for the first year of sobriety
Hmm.
because I didn't want to. I
That's
didn't
a
want to
that,
pass
that's
the
a very
bars.
good choice. You didn't want to pass all those
I
bars.
didn't want to
Yes.
pass the bars. I didn't want to see one of you guys outside smoking a cigarette, like, "Yo, come have a drink." Because everybody,
Mm-hmm.
we would not see each other for 5 years and we see each other, "You come have a drink, come have a cigarette." Like, that's just the way it was. So I avoided it. And my mind started to clear up. And I started to realize how sick I was and how, yeah, I was depressed. I was anxious. I had a lot of trauma that I didn't resolve from growing up. I saw a lot of death. There was a lot of stuff that I drank over or that I drank to forget. And so stopping drinking is only part of it. You, if I suggest if anybody thinks they have a problem and they go to NA or AA, really getting to connect with other people and start doing the step work, because that's where you change your life.
The
That's where
battle,
you,
yeah, the battle still continues. It's not. It's
oh,
never ending battle.
it's insidious. It goes on forever. They
Yeah.
say they have these corny lines in AA, but they're actually true. Your
Mm-hmm.
disease is in the parking lot doing push ups, constantly getting stronger. So you think that you're over it. Part of this disease is your mind telling you you don't have a disease. So
It's true.
I could be sober for so long. Every once in a while, I'm like, I don't think I have a problem.
Yeah. And you was doing
And
that for
then
years.
I gotta play the tape through and be like, girl, I used to walk home from Pauline's with no shoes. I used to wake up in places that I didn't know where I was. I would
Mm-hmm.
be this white girl, 5 o'clock in the morning, walking through the projects in Harlem. But I'm chilling, like I had it like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
the one good thing about being the chameleon is though I learned Spanish because I loved bachata. So I got
Mm-hmm.
into bachata and brugal, and I used to go to the pool hall in 207, Guys and Dolls,
Mm-hmm.
and that with tea and all of them. And that's how I learned Spanish. That's how I felt the most comfortable. But I still didn't know who I was. I just became Dominican for like 10 years.
So, so now that you're sober, right? Have you accepted your identity now?
Oh,
Have you
yeah.
figured it out?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm still a chameleon. I could still be who you want me to be. Like I can talk to you in business tone right now and be very professional. I could diagnose you. I could analyze you, or I could throw down with you. You know, I still have the different parts of me,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm more comfortable with the different parts of me. Whereas before, I didn't want to feel anything. I didn't want to. I was embarrassed of who I was. Um, I still have that. I still get a little anxiety when I'm around people. Like this is hard for me to do with you right now, but
And and I appreciate that you're doing it because this is very brave of you.
thank you. I throw it out there because that's what we do in sobriety. We spread the message so someone else could be like, "Oh shit, yeah, I don't have to lose my kids to be an alcoholic. I don't have to." It could be emotional. It could be that I want to die because I'm not happy with what's going on in my head. Like suicide is real. A
Oh
lot of
yes,
times it comes from untreated other things, you know?
yes, I agree. I mean, I went through depression and had suicidal thoughts myself. So, um, it was it was very rare, and that was one. I like to say that was one of the moments where I almost crossed the line with the alcohol too, because
Yep.
that shit is on the side, sitting there waiting for you to just like drink me so I can help you fuck it up.
Yep.
You know, I can
Yep.
help you make your decision. I know what your decision is I want to change it,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
what that's what the alcohol did. So yeah, I mean, I went through that same thing, when I moved down
Mm-hmm.
here to Florida. So, um, and that's why I talk about it now. You know, I
Yeah.
bring it up to people. I talk to people about it. Even I've spoken to several men about child custody and stuff like that because I have,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have my kids, but I share it. It's
Mm-hmm.
60-40. So I get a good majority of time with my kids. They stay with me. I help raise them. I put money whenever I can to help them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a lot of men I know from being in New York, a lot of men in New York, especially, they don't want to go through that stuff. They don't want to go to court. They don't want because they know that's you, that's hangman. You getting hung up, and that's it. You
Yes.
done. You done.
Yes. Yes.
So, and I tell men, you need to fight it. You need to fight it for real. Put that money down. Fight for your kids. Put some time in. See your kids. Trust me. You need to be there. And I think with more fathers and even more mothers allowing fathers to be fathers,
Mm-hmm.
we can help this new generation from having these type of illnesses and stuff like that. We can stop the trend of the family, of what the
Yeah.
family continuously does.
Well, it's generational trauma. That's
Yeah,
the
exactly.
realest thing you could say. Like
Yeah.
the reason it's generational trauma is that if you grew up and there was so much chaos and calamity, but that's all you knew,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know that that's wrong. So when
You
you're
know?
raising your kids, you're raising them with chaos and calamity because that's all you know. And everybody around you acts the same. So we're just
Exactly.
passing it on and passing it on. You're lucky
Exactly.
when it comes to alcoholism, you're lucky you don't have the allergy. That's you have the environment, but you don't have the genetic addiction, thank God. So
Yeah.
that's why you didn't cross that line.
Yeah.
But a lot of us we have the allergy and we have the environment, and that's like a double-edged sword, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it is so true because, like, for example, like you said that your parents didn't, you was the first child. They didn't really know how to be parents. They were still young. My mother didn't know how to be a mom. She used to beat the shit out of us all the fucking time. She'd
Mm-hmm.
catch us taking a shower, whip the fuck out of us while we wet, soaked
Mm.
up. So my mom didn't know. And when I became a father, and I had to, I was demonstrating the same shit with my kids,
Mm-hmm.
and I had
Mm-hmm.
to sit down one I don't one one day it just hit me where I was like, yo, this is wrong, and I know this is wrong, and I know this is not how I want to raise my kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to like change everything, like learn how to listen to my kids, learn how to talk to them differently,
Mm-hmm.
and that changed my relationship with my kids. And that also, when I did that, it made me think of, my mom really didn't do a bad job being a parent. She just didn't know anything better. That's
Yes.
just that's just how she was raised. She was raised in a farm in Dominican Republic with like 10
Mm-hmm.
other kids. Everyone had to work, and if you didn't work, you got your ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
that's how they showed it.
Yeah.
So I can't fault her for that because that's what she knew. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
a saying. There's a saying we have in treatment where it's hurt people,
yeah,
right? So, like, if your mom was a hurt little girl and did it, that's how she was showed love. That's how she was shown discipline. That's all she knows how to show you.
exactly.
And it's our generation and hopefully the generations after us that there's more knowledge out there now. There's more acceptance of mental illness. There's more understanding of addiction. There's more, like, it's okay to be a grown man and cry. It's okay to be a grown man and say, I had suicidal thoughts. Matter of fact, you saying that out loud probably helped 10 other guys that would never, ever even think to even mention that.
Yeah, and
It's awareness, it's
I've
spreading it and letting people know it's okay.
I've told the story to people. I put the barrel in my mouth and I was in a park, and I
Oh
wanted to
my
shoot myself, and
God.
I clicked, and the shit didn't go off, and the shit was loaded.
Oh wow. Oh, you just gave me goosebumps.
Exactly. And then I had another